It's you again. I barely recognized you. You have grown powerful, my disciple. I am proud. You truly have mastered the way of the agenda. But I must warn you, agendas can become uncontrollable. If you abuse the agenda, it will corrupt your mind and soul. Never let yourself succumb to the agenda, or else you'll end up like the Jujutsu Kaisen fandom. Ever since the Culling game started, the mental health of JJK fans have been deteriorating. Every chapter that was released sent fans into a downward spiral that they could not escape. In order for you to avoid this, I shall tell you the tale of the JJK agendas.
And by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
I didn't think I was going to make this video so soon. Not only did the agenda video get 5,000 likes, it got over 6,000 as well. It's also going to surpass the original agenda video in likes. That's honestly amazing, and it completely surpassed my expectations. To be completely honest, I am a proud JJK hater. So I was planning on keeping this video on the back burner. But after seeing all the support, I gotta give the fans what they want. So here are some JJK agendas covered by a JJK hater. First one today is Kashimo. I gotta go back to him real quick. I forgot to mention the sheer amount of glaze Kashimo received when he was first introduced. It may seem comical now, but there was a large fan base of Kashimo glazers who thought he was Sukuna level. This Kashimo movement was spearheaded by his #1 meat writer, Tizzy. Despite all the femboy memes, Tizzy still has a profile picture that is based off of a Kashimo panel. I highly recommend watching Tizzy's TikToks about Kashimo for pure entertainment value. His TikTok videos before and after Kashimo's death are some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Just look at the amount of cope he has to do just to defend his boyfriend's honor.
So it's less than a day till chapter 237 comes out, and I'm still seeing loads of disrespect towards Kashimo on my For You page, so I need to make another video explaining Kashimo's entire character. If you genuinely think Kashimo is lasting less than a chapter, I don't know what to tell you. A lot of people don't realize this, but Kashimo is literally the Gojo of his time period. Kashimo fought every sorcerer in his time period, and then when Kenjaku asked Kashimo if he had any fun, Kashimo literally said, not at all. No one was able to compare to Kashimo in his era. Same way how no one compared to Sukuna during the Heian era, and no one compared to Gojo during the modern era. Kashimo was literally that person in his era, except unlike Gojo, Kashimo genuinely had no competition.
Oh my god, bro, is dick riding all you do? No, I'm saying you literally got that nigga dick in your mouth right now. I see it.
Kashimo being the strongest of the Heian era meant absolutely nothing. We basically know nothing about the fighters from the Heian era. Who was Kashimo's biggest ops during the Heian era? Old MacDonald, barnyard animals, the Dust Bowl? Get this bum in the Great Depression. He's not built for the modern era. FDR needs him. This jobber didn't even get an on-screen death, bro. We're smoking on that femboy pack. Let's get into characters that are actually relevant. Sukuna and Gojo are easily the most popular characters from the series, so the entire fandom couldn't wait to see the fight between them. And when the fight actually happened, it started the biggest agenda war in history. Fraud Kuna versus Fraud Joe. Who was the true fraud of this fight? Whoever lost was going to receive hundreds of troll posts ruining their reputation. Throughout the fight, it wasn't looking good for Sukuna. He had 2 walking Mickey Mouse clubhouses on his side, and he was still getting cut. I find it funny that as soon as Sukuna takes over Megumi's body, he starts becoming a Mahoraga merchant. Megumi's bum genes must be rubbing off on him. There were so many Sukuna fans who were coping and trying their hardest to explain why this isn't fraudulent behavior. As the chapters kept dropping, it seemed like things were only going to get worse for the Sukuna fan base. It looked like Sukuna was never going to recover from the fraud allegations. Little did they know a hero would come to arrive and save them. Geiji Akutami, Sukuna's strongest soldier, changed everything. Geiji did the unthinkable when he dropped chapter 236, the infamous chapter that spread across the web and made JJK fans lose their sanity. Gojo got fucking packed. He didn't go out in a blaze of glory or sacrifice himself. He got chopped in half off screen and we see his bleeding corpse on the ground. The Sukuna fans had officially won. After weeks of enduring slander, the Sukuna fandom was finally able to fight back. The memes of Gojo's death ran rampant and there was nothing that his fans could do. Gojo was supposed to be an untouchable god, and yet here he laid on the ground like a bitch. Many people asked, why would Geiji do this? Why did he have to die like this? Does Geiji hate Gojo? The answer to all these questions is obvious. Geiji was just based. Geiji must have went on TikTok one day and saw those cringy Gojo fangirls simping over him. He saw what those she-devils are capable of. He definitely saw the Gojo figure incident. He realized that he released evil onto the world. Geiji knew what he had to do. He was gonna get rid of Gojo for the greater good. You all hated him for this, but he had to do what he had to do. He not only saved the anime community, but the future of humanity as a whole. The only way Gojo fans could cope was to delude themselves into thinking he would return. Next chapter for sure, he'll come back, they said. This is hinting at a Gojo return, they said. Their prayers were answered, but not in the way you think. Gojo's body had risen once again. Gojo's back. All the coping, it finally paid off. The fan base rejoiced. Gojo was going to redeem himself and defeat Sukuna. But all the hype made people forget that Geiji is the ultimate troll. You see, it wasn't actually Gojo who was in his body. It was actually Yuta. Thus, the Yuta agenda was gaining a lot of traction. Was Yuta going to be the one strong enough to end Sukuna's reign of terror? It was very possible. He even had Gojo's arsenal of hacks abilities. He had blue, he had purple, he even had unlimited void. Surely he would be vital towards the plan to defeat Sukuna. Right? But we all know how this story actually went. Yuta's controller disconnected and he had to log off before his mom took away his Xbox. This panel is genuinely hilarious, bro. I may not like Geiji as a writer, but he makes the perfect material for agendas. He really has this man dreaming on the floor. At least get on the bed first, bro. He looks like he belongs in one of those boxing sleepover memes. Funniest part is that Geiji didn't have to draw him falling like this. He deliberately wanted you to see him flop on his face. This is going to be animated one day. We're gonna see Yuta's body fall with rotoscoping and impact frames in 4K resolution. But Yuta wasn't the only character to get slandered because of Geiji trolling. Hakari was a pretty popular character who thrived off of being an aura merchant and a domain spammer. But people began to turn on him because he was completely sidelined from the story. When it was announced that JJK only had 5 chapters left, everybody was losing their minds. One problem that people brought up was Hakari's fight with Urame. Nobody had a single clue as to how Geiji was going to end this fight in a satisfying manner. They had been fighting off screen for so long that it didn't even matter to most people anymore. But Geiji, the GOAT of rage baiting, ended the fight by having Urame disconnect her controller. I'm going to push my own personal agenda on Hakari. If you analyze this panel of the two, you would notice that they barely have any battle damage at all. There's no way they were fighting for this long with no serious wounds. You can also see that Urame has stripped a bit of her clothing. If you connect the dots, you would realize that Hakari and Urame were not fighting. These niggas were getting freaky. Urame had to be getting cracked off screen because they definitely weren't fighting. You see that face? That is a face of a woman who caught crazy strokes. Hakari's legacy is being a domain spamming bum and having a non-existent fight. But enough talk about bums and frauds. Let's get to the real GOAT of the series. The one character in the series that is immune to slander. The undisputed MVP of the JJK franchise. Todo. From his first appearance, he professes his love for big booty bitches and he beats the shit out of that bum Megumi. This is a god tier first impression. I can't think of a better way to introduce a character. He's easily the best character to come from Kyoto High. He makes an excellent contribution to Shibuya, being one of the best team players on the battlefield. And even when we all thought his boogie woogie was cooked, he came up with a way to make it better. I mean, how could you hate the guy? He's easily the best the series has to offer. Geijay was completely cooking a 5-star gourmet meal when he made this character. I think the moral of today's story is that in order to not be a bum, you have to be a schizophrenic. But Randy, what about the Jogo agenda? This video is getting a bit too long. I gotta go.